I bet with Interbet only. They're a fantastic site. I've never had any issues with them. They are very professional. There's never a problem. You deposit money, 2 seconds later it's in your account. You withdraw, which I do very occasionally, and I believe it's also 2 seconds it's in your account.
Race 7 on the card, the feature, the listed off to stud stakes for 200,000 rands. It's for fillies and mares over 1,600 metres. First leg of the final double. It goes off at 15.50. It's a really good competitive race. But Masharina blew us away last time out with a very facile victory. She is top of the boards for the off to stud stakes. So before we go any further, let's relive that action and then chat to Peter Muscat.
Mascarina's also running on the stand side. Crazy Blues, Mountain of the Moon. Mascarina's a big runner on the outside. Mascarina, Crazy Blues, but Mascarina's running away from them now. And Mascarina will win by about 3 or 4. Second position will go to Crazy Blues. Third place, maybe My Lady Soul. And then came Wonderful.
Yeah, she's coming of age now. She's a very late maturing type of filly. She's still going to mature more and go and get stronger as the season progresses. But she was an emphatic winner of her last start. She quickened up really well, hit the line strongly, full of running, and that was from a deep draw. On Sunday she's got the reverse and she's well drawn, so she's going to get every favour in the run, and she should be able to pick up some black type on Sunday, which will be very valuable to Fast Fontaine and her pedigree.
Lovely pedigree Masharina has, and obviously that black type is valuable, and clearly Masharina, as we saw, there was a very impressive winner last time out from the outside gate. She was dropped out, finished full of running, and therein lies a little question I'm going to pose to Dees in a moment, but also noting, of course, that Dees, that as a result of that win, she went up £8. The handicapper wasn't lenient on her, £8, so she's gone up from a rating of 87 to 95. She probably deserves it. Now, interesting for me, because she won that race so well when ridden with restraint, and the last comment that Peter Muscat made there was that, you know, from the inside gate she should get the run of the race. So it's going to be interesting if they go quickly, which they might do in this race. I think that will certainly set her up. But it's going to be interesting to see how they try and position her.
I'm glad you touched on the rating, because you're going to have to be the judge on how do you follow up on horses that win so well. Do you agree with the handicap hike or not? In this case, I agree, because if you have a look at Tristan's body language over the final 100 meters or so, he was so confident, he put the stick away. He actually just punched her out at the hands. That's how well she won. She's won over 1,400, 1,500, 1,600 meters. She just seems to be a filly that's on the up, Graham. And personally, being a 3-time winner from 7 starts to date, I think there's more to come for her. I personally think she could achieve 100 plus in her career, this filly. And she's going to be the top choice after watching her win last time out, draw 9 out of 9. I'm not saying that she's a filly that you're going to try and ride for a position, because she enjoys a patient ride, and I think Tristan can pretty much do what he wants from that barrier position. But there is opposition, as you mentioned, and the opposition I make, 2 runners, just 2 runners. If I'm going to start looking past these 2 runners, Graham, then it's going to turn out to be a race where I'm just going to get confused and it's going to become complicated. I respect Robbie Sage's placement of number 7, Cape Lights, the fact that she's a 4-time winner and she's in good form the way she won last time out. And this is the reason that Caden Brewer is in town. It's nice to remain loyal to these young kids, which Robbie has done here. And she won a good race, so I respect the Gauteng form. And then Pirella, for me, is the unknown against this type of field. She's only had 2 runs for Dennis Bosch. You can't fault her form. She won well first up, caught me by surprise. But when she followed up last time out, and I think Gorgeous Girl is a very good filly from the Tony Rivelin stable. In fact, I think that she's that good that possibly she's placed again very smartly by Tony in race number 8, because he had options throughout this race meeting on where he could have raced her. He's opted to go for race number 8. So that's the unknown for me in the race. So summarizing, to the horse to beat, my cover numbers 7 and 11. When I start looking past that, Graham, I'm looking for something that may not be there.
Yes, that is a trap that we sometimes fall into. We both agree that number 2, Mascherina, is the one to beat. She probably, as Dee said, deserves her penalty. She won that well. But if you go back, what worries me, Dee's, I agree with you about Cape Lights. It's fantastic to see Robbie Sage in town. I can't remember when last he raided KwaZulu-Natal. When Perilla beat Pilot Flame, I was on her that day, and then she followed up with a good run. So yes, we agree with 7 and 11 as being dangerous, but I'm surprised you've ignored number 5, LMB, because if you go back to the 1st of June, they both raced against Pfizer. LMB ran 3rd, Mascherina ran 4th, and given that Mascherina had to come out and win and incur that penalty, LMB is now much better off at the weights with number 2, Mascherina. But Mascherina is clearly got a lot more potential. LMB is the 5-year-old, Mascherina is a 4-year-old. She's a blue-blooded daughter of Gimme the Green Light, bred out of the top draw. So I'm not suggesting that although LMB has got Mascherina stone cold at the weights, that's the way the race is going to turn out, because LMB has also had 2 runs subsequently and flattered really to deceive. But I'm firmly in the camp that number 2, Mascherina, will probably win the race. But I'm just adding one more to your list. I'm going to include numbers 5, LMB, 7, Cape Lights, and we both agree that number 11, Perilla, the Grey Daughter of Erupt, could be the unknown. So there we go. It's the Off to Stud Stakes. It's a competitive race. There are 13 runners. We've narrowed it down to number 2, Mascherina, is the likely winners, followed by 5, 7, and 11. I'm going to take the liberty of throwing my number 5 into those 2 mentioned by Dees. That's how we see the outcome of the 2024 Off to Stud Stakes.
My name's Danny Diliberto, founder of Ladles of Love. It was founded back in 2014. Communities we work with are all over the peninsula, and we're working with 138 beneficiaries now. We've grown exponentially. We've been able to do that because of all the kindness that we have experienced from individuals and corporates such as Interbet, who just want to be part of the change.